Today's topic is classification of research. These these classification of research that we are going to talk to bit today is a generalized kind of research, types of researches which can be applied to social sciences, to arts and humanity, as well as to the medical sciences. However, in the coming few lectures, I will be arranging for you guys that the types of the biomedical research, especially focusing on the medical research. These are generalized type of research. Any field can adopt a type of this type, these many type of these researches. From the viewpoint, we have got three major types of the researches generalized way we can talk about. That is the application. Based upon the application, we can classify the research, that is applied and pure research. Based upon the objectives, we can classify the research into descriptive research and exploratory research, then correlational and explanatory research. We will talk about them. Based upon the inquiry mode, we can classify the research into quantitative research and qualitative research. There are got all these different types, have different implications, and we need to understand that at times these different types they might overlap. You can say some form of quantitative research uh, might also be coming across with the pure research, and some at times descriptive research might be in correlation might be applying might also be applied to applied research, so they are overlapping at times. Based upon the application perspective, there are major two types of the research, that is pure and applied. A pure research is developing or testing theories or hypotheses that are intellectually challenging. You need to understand that in pure research we develop the theories, the phenomena, the principles of some of an issue or a technique, and they may or may not have practical application at the present time or even in future. You just talk about a phenomena, you develop a technique, and it might not be applied to today's work, today's uh, present time. Refinement, it includes where research includes refinement of the research methods. For example, developing a sampling technique, methodology, or instruments. And these are principles, or you can develop a phenomena, you can develop some facts about some phenomena. So all these will be included under the heading of the pure research. In contrast to that, applied research related to that, but these are the research techniques, procedures, and methods that form the body of the research methodology and applied to the collection of information about a situation, issue, problem, or a phenomenon. That is, the information gathered can be used for policy formulation, administration, enhancement of understanding of a phenomenon. Peer research will give you a principle of a phenomenon. Applied research is going to test that the methodology, test that the procedure that have been developed, and it will help in enhancement of understanding of a phenomenon. That is the main difference between a pure and applied research. And based upon the objective perspective, we have got descriptive, correlational, explanatory, or exploratory research. Descriptive research is conducted to describe a situation, problem, phenomena. It describes attitude towards an issue. For example, prevalence of tuberculosis in Pakistan. You can go for molecular frequency, molecular prevalence of, let's say, hepatitis B, C, or HIV in Ahmedabad region, certain area. So you just describe a situation, and then the main purpose of such type of descriptive research is to describe what is prevalence with respect to an issue or problem under study. Frequency or prevalence is the important thing in most of these descriptive type of research. On the other hand, a correlational research, it discovers or establishes the existence of a relationship between two or more aspects of a situation. Whenever you are correlating something, whenever you are talking about a phenomena and what are the different, let's say, how is it influenced by factors or by another phenomena, that correlation is whenever it's studied, then it comes under this correlational type of studies or correlation type of research. For example, impact of an advertising campaign on the sale of a product. That's very much, you know, you have got sale of a product, before a campaign, you have got some figures, some data before that, and then you correlate it with the with an advertising campaign, and then you again get some data, some figures that what's how much impact does has that advertising campaign has made on the sale of a product. Like, what is the effect of health service on the control of a disease? Like, you initiate or you establish some SOPs, you initiate some awareness program, let's say about dengue, about malaria, and then you see, you get some figures, you can get some prevalence of a study that is before that campaign, before that awareness campaign. You might have done it on any forum, on social media, on deep television networks, and anywhere else. And then you check that how much has got impacted on the situation on curtailing that specific disease. For example, you against the malaria, you start a campaign where you aware the people about these mosquito breeding sites, and then before this campaign, you check out, you look for the frequency of the patients before the disease. Let's say that can be 10,000 in a specific population. And then after, once you initiate the campaign, you aware the people, you conduct a seminar, you initiate this campaign on social media, and then after that, you again, for the coming season, then you again look out for the frequency or distribution of the disease. And if you see there is some look out for correlation, that whether this campaign has resulted in a decreased pattern of the disease or not. That is a correlational study. Descriptive, you just describe the situation. In correlation, you correlate the phenomena. Then actually in biomedical sciences, we'll be talking about these different types of prospective, retrospective studies, before and after studies, longitudinal studies, that will be in coming in that will be covered in coming few lectures. And then you will get an idea purely based on the medical research. What is an explanatory or exploratory? First is the explanatory research. Explanatory research, it attempts to explain or clarify how and why there is a relationship between two aspects of a situation. For example, why tuberculosis is more common in diabetes patients, why there is Kaposi's sarcoma in HIV patients. So it attempts to clarify the situation, the relationship between two aspects of a situation. Mostly it is related to correlational study. Whereas an exploratory research is undertaken to explore an area where little is known, or to investigate the possibilities of undertaking a particular research study. Whenever you are planning to conduct a research study, you first go for small level experiments. So like, you might be looking for some disease, you might be trying to look out for some, let's say, against meningitis, bacterial meningitis. You plan to establish some therapeutic some interventions. So before that, you need to conduct some pilot study, some feasibility study, in which you will be conducting your experiment on a small proportion of, let's say, if this is animal model study, on a small population, small number of animals, let's say mice. Initially you might be conducting your experiments on 20 mice or 30 or 50 mice even, and just to look out, develop the disease, progression of the disease. You might be developing the disease, you will be figuring out the exact infective dose, then you will be figuring out how you can be following how you can discover the therapeutic potential of that specific drug or medication that you have developed. So initially you will be using very limited resources for a pilot study or feasibility study. This is called an exploratory research, and that you are going to conduct proper experiments, proper uh, analysis later on. Proper experiment, proper research will be conducted later on. Based upon the inquiry perspective, we have got two different types: qualitative and quantitative research. Qualitative research, the purpose of this kind of study is to describe a situation, phenomenon, or problem, or an event. If the information is gathered through the use of variables which are measured on nominal or ordinal scales. That is qualitative measurement scales. The analysis is done to establish the variation in the situation, phenomena, problem without quantifying it. Like if you just you want to check out whether a person is diabetic or not, the most simple experiment that is conducted is uh, you know uh, is to check assess it. So what we do actually is we check that whether this phenomenon, this and by testing the blood, by testing for the blood sugar level, you get at times by the development of the color by these different reagents, you devise, you conclude that whether a person has got diabetes or not. That can be just presence or absence of a phenomena or disease, let's say in biomedical sciences. Similarly, you can look out for some other diseases, yeah, like you can just use a device or strip method to check for the presence of hepatitis B or C in a person's blood, and different antigenic structures might be identified. However, this is type of qualitative research. Okay, the person has got hepatitis B or C in him. You know? Whereas in contrast to that, quantitative research, it quantifies the variation of a phenomena, situation, or issue, and information is gathered using quantitative variable to ascertain the magnitude of the variation. For example, how many people have got a particular problem, how many people hold a particular attitude. Like in biomedical sciences, you say in the first in qualitative research, you said that okay, a person has got hepatitis C or hepatitis B in his blood, but in quantitative research you are going to exactly tell what is the exact viral load of this specific virus in the blood. Okay, and similarly in different other organs, you can look for measurement of these different other diseases. You can do the PCRs for these, you can run PCR for that. So exact quantification, like if a person has got diabetes, blood sugar, and you by that those sugar reagents, you conclude that by the color change, okay, if color comes bluish, then this is, let's say, as I assume that the person has got diabetes. But you are going to measure the change in the color by, let's say, photoelectric colorimeter or by the ELISA systems. Exact, you are going to quantify how much the difference between the optical density is between the original solution and this new solution. Then you are going to quantify that what is the level of diabetes the person has got, how much is the exact quantitatively what's the level of diabetes in a person. So quantitative study, it deals with quantification of a phenomena. You are going to specifically look out for the frequency, exact number, and whereas a qualitative is just yes or no, whether the phenomena is there or not. Thank you so much.